Hey guys, it's Zach from the Awesome Drone Show, and we are on Ahsoka episode 6. I'm trying out a new angle on the camera. I have it actually on the ground now. It used to be on the table that I have the laptop on, but now I have it behind the table just so it's not so up close to me. I just want to see how this angle looks. So last episode, we got what most of us wanted to see. Well, I guess I should say a lot of us wanted to see, which is Hayden Christensen back as Anakin, and we got Clone Wars flashbacks. Well, they're flashbacks, but they were really like present day Ahsoka in Clone Wars Ahsoka's body. And it was really cool. There's a lot of people who, like, the first like day or two after the episode came out, they're trying to figure out whether that was actually Anakin or just like a force vision or just a hallucination or something like that, which I personally kind of thought it was a hallucination. But the more I thought about it, the more I watched videos, the more I feel like it was actually Anakin in the afterlife, whatever the Jedi afterlife is. Especially because there is one line in the last episode where Ahsoka tells him, "I won't fight you," and he responds, "I've heard that before."
I won't fight you.
I've heard that before.
Is because that Luke had told him that when he was Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi.
I will not fight you, Father.
And Ahsoka wouldn't have known that Luke told Darth Vader that, so it had to have been actually Anakin there, because it couldn't have been something just in Ahsoka's mind. But it's also interesting that both versions of Anakin are still there. Like, he still remembers his past as Darth Vader as well as Anakin. So you get like this dual version of Anakin. We got to see both in the last episode, which it was so cool that Hayden is able to play both really well. Like, at the end of towards the end of the episode, he was full on Darth Vader, but without the suit. And like, he did that so amazingly. And also about those last few scenes with Anakin in the last episode, it was cool whenever Ahsoka had taken Anakin's lightsaber, which is like her signature move at this point, disarming the enemy and taking their weapon from them or using it against them. But she had taken Anakin's lightsaber and she had turned it on him, and she kind of leaned in, and I didn't notice this until I was editing my reaction video last week, but her eyes actually turned yellow, which must mean that she actually drew on the dark side in that moment, as if to kind of show Anakin, like, you think the dark side gives you power, yet I can do the same, but I'm not letting it consume me. And I saw this one post that was actually pretty interesting that somebody said, which hopefully I can find it. If I can find it, I'll put it up on the screen. But somebody was talking about how their theory is that Anakin in the last episode, he had fully assumed his role as the new father, like the father of Mortis from the Clone Wars, the whole story arc. The father in that episode told Anakin that he was going to have to take his place and keep the balance of the Force. But Anakin had told him no, that he didn't want to do that. But now it seems like he possibly assumed that role now that he died. He came back to the light in Return of the Jedi, and now he has assumed that role. And then you have Ahsoka, who in that Mortis story arc in Clone Wars, she had died, and the daughter of Mortis revived her by giving her her life force, essentially. So she kind of is the daughter now. So some people are thinking that maybe Anakin is the father, Ahsoka is the daughter, and maybe, just maybe, Ezra is going to be the son, because the son represented the dark side. Not that Ezra is going to be completely dark side, but he did have a few moments where he actually was tempted by the dark side and actually kind of used the dark side in Rebels, especially with the whole Maul stuff, especially like in the Sith Temple, the Malachor, I think it was called. He was actually able to enter the Sith Temple with Maul, and Maul, after that, he was trying to have Ezra as his apprentice. So Ezra had a little dance or two with the dark side. So it would make sense and would be kind of cool if he became the son. So it'd be Anakin as the father, Ahsoka as daughter, and Ezra as the son moving forward. But it's just a theory. Oh, and one other thing about why I think that Anakin is actually post Return of the Jedi Anakin in the last episode, rather than just a hallucination or something, is because he also tells Ahsoka one is never too old to learn, which could imply that he's talking about how Luke had pretty much taught him that it wasn't too late to do the right thing, that he shouldn't just continue to live underneath the Emperor and continue to do all these bad things and continue to just use the dark side as a coping mechanism to just ignore all of your pain and regret, to actually stand up and do something. And I also kind of like how they actually made a point about why Ahsoka has been acting the way she has. Because if you remember from the first episode, I had mentioned about how I haven't honestly really liked Rosario Dawson's acting as Ahsoka. I felt like she played it too stoically, too kind of emotionless, too wooden. But they actually kind of gave a reason. That's what the whole last episode was about, was her trying to come back into what she was and stop just going through the motions. But I will say the one thing that I feel like would have made that whole story arc make a little more sense was if she never met Luke at this point in the story, because she had obviously met Luke in the Boba Fett show. So like her stoic mannerisms and how like she's just kind of been going through the motions and not really sure if she still wants to live or fight or all that, could have stemmed from like Anakin, knowing that Anakin turned to the dark side, and that's just all he was for the rest of his life. But like, did Luke not tell her that Anakin came back to the light side in the end and was the one who killed Palpatine? Like, I mean, I guess you could make an argument that she could still feel this way just because of the fact that Anakin turned to the dark side and was a Sith Lord for over 20 years. He was Darth Vader for a longer time than he was Anakin. But I don't know. I just feel like it would have made a little more sense if she hadn't known Luke and hadn't known that Anakin turned back to the light side in the end. And what's crazy is that casting the Ariana Greenblatt, I think that's her name, which she's having a up and coming career with this, Barbie, and then playing Gamora in Infinity War. But casting like a young actress for Ahsoka in the Clone Wars period really puts into perspective like the idea that the Jedi like brought in these kids to fight in their war and to be like commanders and whatnot. It's like that is pretty messed up. Like these children being on the battlefield, and even Anakin at that point was like 19 years old. So he was still a teenager. I mean, I know war in real life, 18 was like the minimum age. So you had 18, 19-year-olds on the battlefield in wars, but still, it's like you have a general who's 19 teaching like a young teenager. I can't remember how old Ahsoka was during the Clone Wars, but it just puts it into perspective, because in the Clone Wars show, she's obviously voiced by Ashley Eckstein, who is an adult. I mean, she does a good job of sounding like a kid, but there's like the whole zaniness of just the whole cartoon. Obviously it's a cartoon, so you can't really put it into the full scope that she's an actual child. So it's kind of cool to see that in live action, especially with that quote that she says in the Clone Wars.
As a Jedi, we were trained to be keepers of the peace, not soldiers. But all I've been since I was a Padawan is a soldier.
It just puts it all into perspective. And one last thing, it is really cool. I was watching a featurette over the last episode earlier today, and Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen actually went to film school together for like a summer when Rosario Dawson was like 16, I think she said in the video, which is kind of cool. It's pretty big coincidence and pretty awesome that they were able to come back together for this. But anyways, let's get into this episode. I wonder if we're gonna see Ezra and or Thrawn in this episode. I feel like it's due time to see at least one of them. We got 3 episodes left, including this one, but we'll see.
That is our destination. Our Grand Admiral Thrawn is vanished.
I thought you said Grand Admiral Thrawn is Spanish. Here we go. Oh, and it's also kind of cool because somebody pointed out on YouTube that in The Mandalorian, I think season 3, like early on, the Mandalorian, or Mando and Grogu are flying, and they're in hyperspace. And Grogu looks out the window and he sees Purgle. So people are thinking that maybe that's Ahsoka that he's actually seeing flying with the Purgle.
Ah, yes. History of the Galaxy, parts 1, 2, and 3.
1 being the best, of course.
She went with the enemy willingly.
Impossible.
It's a tough choice.
Your choice.
Very well. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hey, so he's about to tell her all the entire Skywalker saga. Well, episodes 1 through 6. The name of the episode, Far, Far Away. That's pretty great. Which it does make sense. They're going to another galaxy, even to them.
You find your situation confining?
A bit.
I would think this would be an opportunity for reflection.
I try to avoid that.
Relatable.
You promised me I would see Ezra again. Hey! Hey! We had a deal!
I mean, to be fair, they haven't even found him yet.
I believe she can still be of some use to us.
What use? I mean, she's pretty tech savvy, so maybe that's what he means. Because it's not like she knows where they are, so...
The ancient homeworld of my ancestors, the Dathomiri.
The Jedi Archive spoke of this. The whales came here to die. Peridia was a graveyard.
So that's probably why this is the first time the Purgle have come this way since Ezra and Thrawn disappeared. Maybe.
Let us not keep them waiting.
Who is it? Oh, there's more Night Sisters? I mean, it's probably obviously. We're gonna see Mother Talzin. I've heard that she was killed in a comic story, but I haven't read that yet. It's cool to see full-on Night Sisters in live action. Like how they looked in the Clone Wars.
Thank you, Great Mother. You heard our call to you in the dream.
So is it, or is it another mother? Another mother.
Hey, we had a deal! Where is Ezra? Where is he?
We're getting there, hopefully.
I know no such stories.
You weren't raised at the temple.
Okay.
Stories of this galaxy are considered folk tales.
So was she born after Order 66, or was she just not a Jedi at the time?
Stories of this galaxy are considered folk tales. Some ancient past, long forgotten.
With good reason. Sometimes stories are just stories.
There's always a bit of truth to legends, Ahsoka said.
Malachor has always been off limits to Jedi.
Why?
Old legends. Stories told to us as younglings in the temple.
There's always a bit of truth in legends.
I watched everything I knew burn.
The Jedi Temple?
Couldn't make sense of it at the time.
I wonder how old he was when Order 66 happened.
As you get older, look at history.
He was probably definitely older than Padawan, wasn't he? I don't know.
It repeats again and again and again.
But you're about to
And isn't it odd
do it
to
again.
know?
So I may finally bring this cycle to an end.
And that beginning is here.
I wonder what truly drives him, because he doesn't seem to be necessarily for power. Is he like against what the New Republic stands for? Like, have they done things that he doesn't agree with? Probably. I mean, obviously they have, because he's wanting them to end. Or maybe he just agreed more with what Thrawn was doing. She can use the Force. Yeah, I don't think that's her. Yep. Is it more Purgle? Oh, is it Ahsoka's Purgle? Or is it Thrawn and Ezra's Purgle? Or a ship. An Imperial Star Destroyer. Okay, that's wasn't expecting that. Oh crap! But There wasn't Star Destroyers that went off with Ezra and Thrawn. That's where they were. Oh, we about to see them. Here we go. Because that's what Ezra and Thrawn were in. But I think there's a couple different ones that went off with them. So is this the one that they're on, or what they've been up to these 5 or so years? Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know why. I thought it was just gonna be Ezra and Thrawn. Obviously, there'd be more. There'd be stormtroopers with them. Oh, there he is. It's cool. They got the same voice actor, Lars Mikkelsen, to play him in live action. Can't wait to hear what he sounds like. We didn't get to hear him in any of the trailers. I hope they just kept Ezra a prisoner this whole time, probably. Those stormtroopers look pretty menacing.
For those who may oppose.
Yep, sounds exactly like he did in Rebels.
Great mothers.
I mean, obviously, the same guy.
This is Enoch, captain of my guard. He shall begin the cargo transfer as per my agreement with the Great Mothers.
Some people have said he looks like Elon Musk from the trailers. Kind of hard not to see it.
I brought the prisoner. I felt she could be of some use to us.
I think he has a soft side. I think he's gonna be redeemed by the end of this. I think he's gonna turn.
The prisoner is Sabine Wren.
He knows her. Yep. The artist.
You're quite right. What a delight it is after so long to see a familiar face.
I bet 5 years out there. 5 or 6 years.
Escape. I'm aware of your agreement with Baron Skull, and I intend to honor it.
Yeah.
We shall have provisions, amounts, and our latest intel on Bridges' whereabouts.
Oh, so he's not with them.
So that's it? You're just gonna let me walk out of here?
You helped my cause. Now I shall help yours.
Yep, that's what makes Thrawn so interesting.
Once the starship departs, you'll be stranded here forever.
Okay then.
It's also
Another tough choice for her.
Friend is dead.
Oh, so they didn't keep him prisoner or anything. Did they just eject him into space or something? That's all she's gonna have. Is she even gonna be able to breathe in space on that thing? It was like a werewolf. Looks like Splinter, actually.
Die well.
That's interesting. What they did to their stormtrooper helmets. Is that their actual face? It looked like metal, but like it's weird. It's crazy. Well, I guess it's just that one. It's not all of them. Oh, yeah. I don't know why I thought they were like floating in space. I was like, is she gonna be able to fly out there on that thing and breathe in space? But yeah, they're on land still.
You may follow her at your own pace.
Yes, Grand Admiral.
What? They gonna kill her?
I thought you were to honor your agreement.
But he shall. Sabine Wren will have the opportunity of finding Ezra Bridger, just as promised. And if she does, you and your master will destroy them both.
Dang. That's a pretty good plan. Keeping their end of the deal while being evil. Does Ezra have his own people? I mean, he's got to be able to survive out here. Thankful she has her Mandalorian armor. She doesn't have her helmet though. Oh snap. Shit just got real. Hey, she did pretty well.
It matters not whether Wren and Bridger are killed or stranded here. The same can be said for your two mercenaries.
Dang.
You abandoned me!
I've known you were a coward.
Ain't gotta do him like that. Not his fault. He doesn't have Mandalorian armor. Yeah, you don't want to be left alone. He, she, I don't know. Okay, maybe he's more adorable than scary. Going against the usual, like, stereotypical cute creature for Star Wars. Going with a scary looking creature that's adorable still.
It's a rock. You're embarrassing yourself.
Hey, it could be Ezra's rock. The little trolls from Frozen. Noise.
Okay,
Little hermit crab creature.
Get up, come on, I can see you there.
The Rebel Alliance.
This?
Oh, does he recognize it? Does he know Ezra? Because was Ezra wearing something with the Rebel Alliance? Probably. I can't remember what exactly he was wearing. Yep. Because he knows Ezra. Yep.
You must know Ezra Bridger.
Do they understand her? Oh, speak English. Wouldn't have expected that.
You know him.
Although it's a name, so I guess it's not really English. I'm being racist, aren't I?
Do you know the one she seeks so desperately?
Bridget? No. He's too young. Comes from a breed of Balkan.
So what was he doing during the time period of the Rebels show?
Like me.
No. He was trained as a Jedi. You, I trained to be something more.
So did he leave the Jedi Order before Order 66? Did he say that earlier? I can't remember. I have a terrible memory.
I miss the idea of it. But not the truth. The weakness.
They had problems.
There was no future.
The arrogance, the hypocrisy, the dogma.
I see bandits.
There's no need.
Is this going to be Ezra? Or are they going to come across Ezra first?
He's our friend. For now.
They have to expect, though, that Ezra knows the people here. So they potentially aren't the enemy of their enemy. They're the friend of their enemy, but they don't know. We don't know either. That could be Ezra's enemy. Here we go. Are we about to see him? They're pretty adorable in their own way.
I knew I could count on you.
Yes, finally. And he's got a beard. Grew out his hair again.
That's because I didn't know where I was going.
Typical. Always a plan. Never a good one.
Hey,
It sounds a lot like him.
it worked, didn't it?
It sounds a lot like him.
Didn't it?
Yep.
It worked.
They beat the Empire. That probably would have been my first words to him. Well, some of my first words, I guess I should say. But hey, an embrace is understandable.
I see my friends found you.
Yeah.
Dude, he sounds so much like him. They cast him pretty well.
I just want to be happy that I found you. After all this time, can I have that?
Been a while.
Come on.
They're like little Ewoks.
Sabine.
Dude, how I'm saying Sabine sound exactly like you did in Rebels. It's crazy.
Can't wait to go home.
Yeah, I bet. Go back to Lothal. Good old Lothal. Oh, that's interesting how they're like perched on that.
Another comes. A Jedi. They ride the travelers.
Ahsoka and Huang. Yeah, did Ahsoka ever meet Thrawn? I can't remember.
Deceased Ahsoka Tano.
Recently deceased.
I thought it was beyond you to underestimate a Jedi.
Oh, did Balin tell him that he killed Ahsoka?
Death and resurrection are common deceptions played out by both Night Sister and Jedi.
Yeah, it does happen a lot in Star Wars.
And yet, he was once a Jedi. So, we must regard him as flawed.
Dang.
Now, we shall
They're
consider
turning on Balin. Balin is 100% going to turn by the end of the show. That's the end. Or at least I assume. Yep. Alright, we finally got Thrawn and Ezra. I'm glad we got both of them in this episode. We only got a little bit of Ezra, but we got a decent amount of Thrawn. We get to see his cunning, strategic mind at play. And we're at a point to where all these characters are all about to be in one place at the same time. It's all about to converge into this one planet that they're on, or at least it seems like it's going to be. Because we have Sabine, Ezra, Balin, Shin, Thrawn, Elsbeth, and then now we have Ahsoka and Huang about to arrive. So it's all about to converge onto this one planet in this faraway galaxy. And we have 2 episodes left. This episode, thankfully, I think was 42 minutes. No, it's 49. This episode is 49 minutes. I hope they continue to be long. Hope they don't jump back to 30-minute long episodes, 35-minute long episodes. 50 minutes to an hour for these last 2. Pretty please, por favor. But yeah, man, I am pretty excited for these next 2 episodes. Like I said, I am pretty positive that Balin is going to switch teams by the end of the show. He might not be completely on Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine's side, but he is going to do something to help them out and turn against Thrawn and the rest of the team. Whether Shin comes along with them to do that, or if she stays on the side of Thrawn, that's still up for grabs, but I am pretty positive that Balin is going to switch sides. He's already shown that he has sympathy towards Sabine and towards the Jedi, because he said that there's so few Jedi left, it would be a shame to kill her or whatever, talking about Ahsoka. But now it seems like even Thrawn is turning on him, and kind of leaving him out to dry, and even telling Elsbeth and the Night Sisters that they're pretty much just going to kill or leave Balin and Shin out on this planet to be stranded forever. That Balin and Shin's lives don't really even matter. So he's already kind of turned against them. So, hey, I can see Balin sacrificing himself in some way to kill Thrawn, or to stop Thrawn, or to just help out Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra in some way. But yeah, I wonder if Ezra has created... There's no way he's created a lightsaber on this planet. I doubt there's kyber crystals on here. I mean, it's a distant planet, so a distant galaxy. So I mean, who knows? Maybe there is kyber crystals on this planet, and he's created his own lightsaber. But I wonder if he's just gonna be on his own and let Sabine keep his old lightsaber, or if Sabine's gonna give him his old lightsaber. But we'll just have to wait and see for these next 2 episodes. I wonder if it's gonna end on a cliffhanger, or if it's gonna actually complete, if we're gonna actually see the defeat of Thrawn in this show, or if it's just gonna end on a cliffhanger and then season 2 is gonna continue on with Thrawn. But we still have 2 episodes, so we shall see. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below. Let me know what you thought of this episode, what you think of the show what you think of this show in general, and just your overall thoughts of just everything that's happening in this show. And as always, we will see you later.